5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Guys, first of all, I'm going to start off with one of the best sponsors in the world, which is Yellow Jacket. Guys, more than 70 years ago, Jack Ritchie set a goal for Ritchie Engineering to become the standard by which all other HVAC hoses are measured. In the last 7 decades, the Yellow Jacket brand has not only become the standard in hoses, tools, refrigeration gauges, manifolds, HVAC vacuum pumps, and refrigerant recovery machines, it's become legendary. And how have they done that? Through their unwavering commitment to excellence. It's the single most important attribute in the longevity of the company. While other companies have sold out, sent work overseas, and lessened their quality, the relentlessness commitment of their people has led to 70 years of best-in-class products, first-class customer service, and innovations that make contractors like ourselves our jobs easier worldwide. So guys, join Yellow Jacket in the next 70 years as they commit to changing the standard once again. Guys, Yellow Jacket, 70 years of expertise built into every tool.
It's time to streamline and automate your business with Housecall Pro. Housecall Pro does scheduling, estimates, dispatching, invoicing, and follow-up marketing for you and your business. Stop losing time and money in your business and schedule your free demo today. Just for scheduling the free demo, you're going to get a $50 fuel gas card. But you got to click on the link that I'm going to give you here. It's www.housecallpro.com/HVAC-uncensored. Guys, streamline and automate your business today with Housecall Pro.
Guys, and last but not least is Webbit. We say this every week for all you guys out there, and we promote a lot of stuff for small business owners. We understand that the big guys are going to be designing websites for themselves, and I get it. I would probably do the same thing. Well, we have done the same thing. But if you're a small company, you're a one truck, you're new, your first couple of years in business, we already know that there's enough on your plate as it is. You're trying to wear so many hats. Don't try to be a web designer. Guys, give us an email at www.hvacuncensored@gmail.com, and we're going to forward you our rep Tyler, his information. Hit him up, let him know. They will create you a first-class website. Professional, things going to be great. You have any issues, they'll design it how you want it, make any changes. Normally, if you call Tyler and say, hey, I want to add this, switch that, within 24 to 48 hours, bam, it's done. It has SEO, search engine optimization. They're slowly adding more and more things as far as e-trade, if you want to have a store, all kind of different things like that. So if you're looking for a website, guys, give us an email. Problem's done. Scratch that off the list. All right? Webbit.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the USA. And as always, thank you to all of our global listeners.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelly McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelly.
Yo, 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 what is up, Uncensored Nation? Welcome back to episode 41 of the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Guys, we got a good show for you tonight, man. It's a little off topic. It's a little mix up, but hey, you know me and Kelly always get this shit done. So, as always, I am yours truly, Gil Cavey, sitting alongside my good buddy and a confidant, yours truly, Kelly McKay. What's up, homie?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad this warm weather is finally here because we're busy. I hope you guys are busy as well.
Yeah, man. We're it's funny because you know how like the object of PMs is like just to carry you over until you get busy, and normally you want to have, once your PMs start to be getting done, you want to be getting busy. Well, now I'm afraid we're going to get busy too soon.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm still going to have PMs to do, because the last thing I want is a guy doing a PM that we're not really, which he could be selling add-ons and making money, but it's not as much of a lock as a diagnostic call is. So we're trying to get these PMs knocked the fuck out before it gets too hot and heavy. But yeah, we're doing good, man. It's finally stopped fucking raining. I mean, you guys went through a lot of rain too, didn't you?
Oh man, I don't know how much. I don't know what the final numbers were, but I'm thinking in certain areas right around me, it was like 14 inches. I mean,
Oh, that's right. You almost had flooding, didn't you?
We were flooding, yes.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Our local news, I heard a stat the other day. It said that it has rained here the last 15 Fridays in a row.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
That's not a good Friday.
Yeah, no, fuck that. It's not really HVAC related, but last weekend my oldest son plays on like a travel baseball team, and I know you know this, Kelly. I'm telling the listeners, but we played Saturday morning. We got our game in. He won. You know, we knew the rain was coming. We played again 5:15 that night. I'm surprised that we even got to start, but we started the game. We're doing good. We actually fell behind, and my son's team like came back to go ahead of a very good team. Most guys around here won't know him. A guy named Larry Bigby. He played for the Baltimore Orioles years back. Well, he has an organization called the Bigby White Sox, where they're known for being a very like class act organization, and they're good. Well, anyway, that's the team we were playing. We get in like the third inning. We're up 9-5. My son comes up with bases loaded, and all of a sudden, like torrential fucking downpour happens. I mean, like monsoon rain, and they call the game, and my son looks at me like, "What the fuck?" Like, it couldn't start raining until after I hit.
Yeah.
And then after that rain came, they ended up having to cancel the whole tournament because it rained all the way till like sometime Monday. It was crazy.
Yeah. This we've had a couple of dry days now, so everything's drying out. Now the sun's coming out. It's just nice to have some actual spring weather finally.
Yeah, it really felt good. I did. I went to a customer today. It's a longtime customer. They requested me to do some work. And they're like right on the water here. It's like right on the mouth of this little river that goes out to the Chesapeake Bay. And just sitting there working on their unit, like the breeze that came off just felt so good. It's one of those moments that just makes me think like summer's here, and it's just like, oh God, that feels so good feeling that breeze come off the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just put a new battery in my mower right before all this rain moved in, like 2 weeks ago. And so we had it was like a Friday, believe it or not, it was a Friday. And we basically had that one night, I guess it was Thursday, and we had either that Thursday night or the Friday night to get it mowed, get our grass mowed. But we've had a hard time mowing because it's just been raining so much. And so got my mower fixed and then go start it, and it will not start. It would start, but it wouldn't engage and drive until I'd have to unplug something, and then it would drive. But if I engaged the deck, it would still keep shutting off. Anyhow, it's a really, really old mower, so I was like, I'm just going to go get a new one. I was going to wait. I was doing that thing that we hate to hear customers say to us. I was like, just one more season, and taking it to the lawnmower shop was like out of the question, because they're like a month out. And by then, my grass would be like, 3 feet tall. So, anyhow, I went and bought a new mower. We got it mowed right before the rain came, and then there was a little window again last weekend, so we mowed it again, and it's all good now. But man, am I glad this rain's over. It's everything's been muddy. The guys we've had some crawl space jobs, so the guys have been, just playing in mud like a pig in shit, It's just, and it's just, what do? We got to keep moving forward. And with the rain, we had to reschedule a couple of jobs. We just couldn't do them, and forget service. We couldn't hardly get any service done, so it threw us behind. And it's just nice to be finally starting to get caught back up.
Yeah, it was the same here. As you start feeling like you're gonna turn into a fucking duck.
Yeah.
We had to do it. Like some of the guys, they would say like, Gil, I can't do these PMs in the rain, and I would just tell them like, all right, man, like we'll reschedule them, but if you can't do them, then you're gonna go home for the day.
Right.
I mean, so you're not gonna get hours. There's not really much I can do. I can't. I get it. I understand, but you can't just like come jerk off in the office and get paid 8 hours.
Right.
So when you say that, most of them would suck it up and find something, that they would get it done.
Right.
So.
Well, with summer approaching, it takes me back. To a time where, it was probably July, and I was extremely fortunate and extremely blessed to be on call. The same time that this lady didn't have any cooling for 2 summers in a row. So for 2 years in a row, I was so blessed to be on call this weekend to go to this house that it was like 95 degrees in the house because we were having record-breaking temperatures. And I shit you not, there's probably 35 cats in the house. And there was this smell of like bleach and cat piss. Like a mixture of bleach and cat piss. And man, if you've ever been into a cat piss crawl space or a cat pissed house, it's such a foul stench. It makes you it takes your breath away. When it's 95 degrees in the house and it reeks of that, it takes your breath away when you walk in. That is the mess. And this gal walks around her house barefoot, and you can see where the mop was still leaning against the washer and dryer in the utility room. She had been scrubbing vigorously, trying to scrub up some of this cat shit and piss. Just in the past, so I could get past it to go downstairs to the furnace or whatever. But man, 2 summers in a row, I knew exactly who she was because that was the worst, the most disgusting call I'd ever been to. And sure enough, I was so fortunate to be on call again the next year when she needed me. I was able to get her going both times, but oh my God, that was just disgusting. So I'm sure everybody has some stories. So we figured we'd tell a couple of stories tonight.
Yeah, Kelly jumped into it, guys, but tonight's podcast is going to be called Story Time. We had a guest who we got mixed up. He got tied up tonight, so we pushed that off a little bit. But yeah, me and Kelly just thought, everybody has been in this trade for a substantial amount of time has got stories. We all do. So we just figured that we would give our stories, and we hope that you guys like it. If you don't, go fuck yourself. Listen next week. But yeah, it's funny you say that, man. We have one that, thank God, we don't service this lady anymore. And at first I felt bad because the lady's in a wheelchair, but she has her house rigged up to where she can open her gate. She has strings that she can pull it, and it opens latches and fucking doors and shit.
Right.
She's got it rigged up pretty good to where she can get things around. It's the same thing, man. You go out there, it was 100 fucking degrees. She opens the door. She has 3 big ass Rottweilers. These things piss and shit in the house. There's shit all over the backyard. The ammonia smell.
Yes.
It is bad. And this is just at the front door. And I asked her this question, and thank God she was like, I know this goes against everything that we teach. But I was like, so your fan's running? It's just the outdoor unit, right? She's like, yes. I'm like, I don't need to come inside. I'm going to go outside. I don't give a fuck what your indoor coil looks like. I'm going to go outside. Thank God it was like a fucking capacitor or something stupid. But so I get it done. The backyard, there's dog shit everywhere. And she even she let me in the gate without going outside. Okay, so if you have that kind of ingenuity to do that, you could fucking let your dogs out to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If she was like in a wheelchair and like bad off and couldn't do that, then whatever. I guess I understand a little bit more, but that wasn't the case. She can let her fucking dogs outside. She's just being lazy. I mean, and there's no way this could have been healthy to her. But anyway, I'm skipping ahead. So I get the unit. It comes on. Thank God it's running. I do the old beer can code. I'm like, all right, cool. Yes, this motherfucker's running. I'm not going inside. I give her bill or what. I start to write the ticket. I get to the door and she's like, do you guys have service contracts? I was like, nope. I was like, yeah. I was like, we don't offer them anymore. I swear to God, I swear to you. I was like, yeah, we stopped offering them. I'm like, we're not, we've kind of lost some people. We're not big enough. So yeah, we don't even offer service contracts anymore. She's like, oh, okay. And then she's like, how much is it? And she's like, well, go ahead and come in, sweetheart. I got to write the check. I'm like, I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. I walked in through her living room. It was maybe like 6 foot from the front door to where like the dining room starts. I took 3 feet to the table. She's writing this check. I swear to you, I held my breath for I felt like 6 fucking minutes. My eyes were burning. My face was like from sweating, and then the stench of the fucking air getting to me was so bad. Like as soon as she signed that ticket, I hurried up and got her to sign it and got the fuck out of there. It was so bad. Like you could taste it. It was disgusting. Like that is the worst. That's like the grossest house. That's the worst call I've ever been on. That place was fucking gross. And when I came back into the office, I said, any of you motherfuckers sell her a service contract, I will make sure that your ass goes out there every fucking time. And thank God it never happened and we never had to do anything else, but that was bad. Like I've been to like some dog shit calls and stuff like that, but this one, like me describing it, I'm not even doing it due diligence. It was that bad.
Well, I've been to calls where the people are just flat out hoarders, and there might be, a dead cat like trapped that's rotted underneath a pile of shit, in the hallway or something. But nothing is like that. The feces, like and the piss, man, nothing is quite as bad as that. Like it takes your breath away, and you're right, it makes your eyes burn. It'll make your freaking eyes burn, like just because that ammonia is so strong. So, yeah, that's those are bad ones. So, how about I was on a call one time in the big city next to me, Wichita, and I was working on a church, and I was by myself, and I had the key to it, and it's kind of like BTK territory, like where his first murders happened. It was down in that area, and there was a church down there, and basically, I was working on a condenser, and it was next to the side street, right off of a more popular, more traffic street, and but I don't know, maybe 30 yards from the main street, and my truck was parked right on the side of the curb where I could just walk from it straight to the unit, which was on the same side of the building. So I didn't have to walk very far, and I cannot remember what I was doing. I think I changed the compressor there or something. I was on the downhill side of it. I was just pulling a vacuum and then charging it up so I could get out of there, and some dude comes walking down the street So walking down the sidewalk, there was a sidewalk in between my van and the unit. And I was at the unit, and he comes walking by slowly on the sidewalk, goes out to the end of the street, and I just check him out, looking over, and he's like peeking out there on the street, like making sure nobody's looking or anything. So I got my screwdriver in my hand, I beeline it to my truck and act like I'm trying to find something in my truck. Meanwhile, he walks back, past me, and so I didn't think too much of it, but I'm at least aware at this point. Well, probably 15 minutes later, he comes walking back, and he's got a box knife, like a box blade, in his hand. And same thing. I'm at the condenser, and he walks past me, and he goes out to the end of the block again and starts looking around. So I beelined it to my truck again. And as soon as he got past that time, I just grabbed my shit. I didn't even finish my car and just got out of there. He was looking for trouble. And anybody's going to fuck with like an HVAC, service tech, anybody's going to fuck with somebody like that. Like, you got to be out of your mind, or, you're fucking high or something. But that scared me. Like, I was scared because that dude was trying to build courage to do something. Yeah, exactly.
Sirens going off. Something's going off in your brain. Like, it's time to get the fuck up out of here.
And I've been to calls like in the ghetto and stuff. I mean, our ghetto, it's probably nothing like Baltimore's ghetto, but our ghetto, it still can be pretty damn shady. And go knock on doors, and you can see the front window, the curtains pull back, and somebody peek out, and they just don't fucking answer the door. Like, you just stand there with your thing with your ass, it's like, okay, well, obviously you don't want service that bad, and have to leave. And also had, obviously people who are on drugs, and dealers pull up, right behind me when I'm putting my stuff away, and kind of size me up, and I just went on about my business and left me alone. But still, like, you gotta be high to want to mess with an HVAC guy, because there's just nothing, it's not like we're carrying a ton of cash on us or anything. What are you gonna steal my reclaimer? I mean, come on. But I guess people have been hurt and killed for less,
Yeah, dude, I see it, man. In Baltimore City, I've seen motherfuckers get killed for $2, man. It gets crazy. Or sometimes you're not even who they're trying to get to. You just happen to be in the crossfire. And I started saying, we should just start teaching these motherfuckers how to shoot, so they actually kill each other and not innocent people. But it's crazy. And speaking,
those were minor incidences, but that shit scared me, man. So.
No, I bet, dude. Like, I don't know if I should say that one call that I was going to say, just because I have to say that company slogan, and that's probably not good. So I'm not going to say that. But speaking of Baltimore City, I did a church, and it's funny. I just downloaded a sound because this is exactly what I fucking heard in this place. And just wait. I was in this old church that we have keys to, and most of their air conditioning stuff is pretty good. There's a few things, but they have two like giant fucking boilers. I mean, these things are, I forget what they are, but these are like million BTU boilers, like that kind of shit. And you have to go down in the basement, and then you walk through. It looks like a fucking hole in the cinder block, and then you go through this, and then there's the fucking units. And whatever, that's cool, but I'm there. There is nobody in this fucking place. Nobody. So I'm working, and I keep fucking hearing noises. I keep hearing like somebody's walking above me, and I'm like, Gil, just fix this shit and be done with it, dude. Like, whatever. Until eventually I start hearing footsteps, and I walk upstairs because I'm like, somebody's got to fucking be here. Like, there's no way. Walk upstairs. Nobody. I checked the front door where I came in. The doors are locked. I check a couple other exits. The doors are locked. I say like, hey, anybody in here? And then I call one of the, it's Catholic. So I call the priest that we normally deal with. And I was like, hey, Father, I forget what his name is, whatever. I said, is anybody in the church today? And he was like, no, today's whatever day it was. He's like, nobody. He's like, there's nobody there today. He's like, nobody's in the church. He's like, so if somebody's in there, they're not supposed to be. I'm like, well, fuck. I go back downstairs and I'm going to play this for you. And it's not tit for tat, but this is something along the lines of what I heard walking back down through this dark fucking basement. I heard a fucking woman crying, and then I heard the walking again. Dude, I rolled the fuck out. I mean, it was all right, bitch, shut up. It was loud enough that it felt like it was very close to me. Like there was no way I was just fucking hearing things. Like, I still to this day think somebody was in there, because I'm not saying that I don't believe in ghosts or nothing like that. I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast, but I know that I fucking heard something. It scared the living shit out of me. And let's just say I didn't fucking fix their boiler that day. Yeah. I forget what I said. I made up something like I had to order like a fucking new gas valve or some bullshit. And when I came back, I like took somebody else with me. And I think when we went back, we even heard shit, but it wasn't as bad as when I was by myself. So I don't know if it was just like, when you're by yourself and your mind plays tricks on you, but that shit spooked me the fuck out, man. That was no joke.
That's never really happened to me. I've been in a house by myself. It's real easy to get creeped out if you're just alone in a stranger's house, and you got to go down to the basement or whatever the case. So I've had like the cats, make noise upstairs or something, and that, really freaked me out. Well, I just want to get the hell out of there. But one of my coworkers was working at a house, and we were just doing a retro just to change out. And the house had like a wraparound porch, and no one was home. And he heard somebody like walk around that porch from the basement and come through the front door. And so he ran upstairs to the entrance to the basement was kind of like a cellar, so it was outside of the house. So he goes upstairs, gets inside to see if anyone's there, and no one's there. So I know it's happened. I totally believe in ghosts, so it sounds like you definitely had a paranormal experience for sure.
Yeah, man, that shit, it'll definitely make you butthole pucker. That's for goddamn sure, man. It's I don't know. I don't ever want to have nothing like that again. And I try to be pretty open-minded, where I try to, justify everything before I come to like a rash decision. But I can honestly say that day there was no way that I could justify any of it. There's just, even looking back on it, and this is probably like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I can say, oh, it was this, or, well, obviously I don't know if somebody was in there either. So, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's a fucking ghost. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to call. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So, I guess one of the strangest calls that I did, it was a rental property, and the rental property, that the homeowner's house was like right next door. And so go to the door, and this gal is like, it takes her a minute to come to the door. She comes around to the door, and she's in a robe, and it was pretty clear, like, she just got like a side shot or something that I just remember. It was clear she didn't have her clothes on. And she was pretty good looking. And so we go in, and I had somebody with me, and we assessed the situation, the problem, and we find it was a double-wide modular, and there was no airflow to one side of the house, and so the jumper deck wound up being full of water. It was like it either froze up, or the drain line clogged, or I can't remember, the evaporator core drain pan was rusted out or something, but it was completely full of water. So I got in there and just stabbed a couple holes in it to drain it out, and needed back inside. Well, same thing. Like, took her a minute to come to the door. She had obviously, like, in the meantime, when we first went in, she had gotten dressed. Well, then we come back in again after because we needed to get in to change filters or something. And sure enough, she's like freaking naked again. So it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre. And then before we left, we may have had to go in like a third time or something. There was a client. Well, she called in a friend, but it was some rich dude in like a Mercedes that was there visiting her on his lunch break. And anyhow, I learned she was a stripper, I guess. So I don't know. It's probably friends with benefits or something to that degree. But anyhow, it's just bizarre that she couldn't keep her clothes on.
That's funny. Well, if you talk about that, I had one of those. This is maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I think I've told this story, and I'm almost positive I've told you. Maybe it's not been on air, but I know I've told you this story. I go out to this house. It's a no heat call. It's a guy and his brother that I'm talking to. I know that like a wife is there, but I don't see her. I've heard them talking to her through the door or something like that. So I go down, I fix the heat. I forget what it was, but it was nothing extravagant. The bill was maybe a couple $100. I'm filling the ticket out, and the guy's like, man, thank you. So, and it was pretty cold out, and I was out there late. It was maybe 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock, something like that. And, he's like, dude, thank you so much, man. He's like, I cannot thank you enough. And, I had been working, and normally I don't ever ask customers for shit. And I asked him, I said, you know, anywhere I can get like a drink of water or something like that. Like my mouth was just dry. And he was like, dude, man, he's like, you fixed my heat and it's cold as shit outside. He's gonna have whatever you want, man. He's like, he's like, you want a beer? You want some liquor? He's like, you want a line of Coke? You want to fuck my wife? And I was like, what? I was like, excuse me? And I just started joking, thinking he was joking. And his brother, with like this fucking like grinning look on his face, he's like, dude, he don't care, man. So I'm standing, I'm trying to picture it. You have to picture it. Okay. It's like a little single, like it's not a rancher because it has a basement, but it's one level. So you walk in the front door and you're in the living room. You go around to your left, and then there is like the dining room, and then it goes around to the kitchen. So I am standing right there, like right at the beginning of the kitchen, and we can look to my right down a hallway where the bedrooms and bathrooms are. The husband is standing in front of me. His brother is standing literally right next to me. So me and him can see down the hallway. The wife comes out of the bathroom butt fucking naked. I don't even notice at first. The brother taps me on the shoulder and like points his head, and I look over and I'm like, oh. And she's actually, I mean, she's an older woman, but she was a really good looking woman. I'm not going to lie. And I'm like, okay. And she knew that I was out there. There's no way that she didn't know. And she's just walking back and forth. And that's when the brother's like, dude, my brother doesn't care. And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm good, man. There's a convenience store up there. I'm like, let's just square away this bill, man. It's been a long night. I'm trying to get home to the fam and all that kind of stuff. And, I left there and I'm like, dude, what the fuck kind of sick shit's going on in here? Like this guy and his brother are like tag teaming his wife and shit like that. But that's no bullshit. He looked at me and, yeah, man, you want a beer, some liquor, fucking line of Coke, fuck my wife.
That's crazy.
Yeah, okay.
That's crazy.
I now I almost want to been like joking and been like, yeah, dude, I'm down. You know what I mean? Just to see what would have happened. But then I'm kind of scary. I was afraid I was gonna like kidnap or something, you know? Yeah, but that's crazy. That was, and that's I swear to God on that story, that's 100% like I don't even know how else to Scout's honor. Right. Swear on whatever you want me to that I have, you know, there's no reason for me to lie about that.
No.
But all right, your turn. Bounce back.
So I was referred by somebody. I was referred by somebody, and I cannot even remember the name of the town, but it was like 2.5 hours away. And it's not normally, it might even been a 3 hour drive. And it's not normally something that I would do, but they liked me because I had done work for this gal's dad who lived in my area, and she needed a new system. So I ended up driving 3 hours to install a system. I had them take pictures and I had them take measurements, and then I was totally prepared to get in, get out, get this job done. And we did. I had help and we knocked it out. And about 2 weeks later, she calls and says, my hot water heater pilot keeps going out. And well, I had tied, it was already tied into the hot water heater, the flue was, and I just went back the way it was. I mean, I had to repipe it just a little bit, but I had good slope and, it was venting just fine. So I said, well, how about, before I come out, because I changed this flue pipe, she thought that maybe that had something to do with the hot water heater pipe, or the water heater pilot going out. So I said, well, get the plumber out there, have him check it, check this and this and this, and then let me know if I need to come out or not. So she does, and of course the plumber says, nope, it's all good. So I said, fine, I'll come out. It was a Saturday, and sure enough, I drive 3 hours, get there, and I find that the combustion air is clogged, like on some of these newer style hot water heaters. They have that ceramic mesh plate that's underneath the burner, and they just get, just lint will get in there and it'll clog them because the holes are so tiny. I mean, there's thousands of holes, but they're really tiny and they're easy to clog. So what I do when I get to those, I pull the burner out and I vacuum underneath there the best I can, but it's really hard to get to everything. And I take my Christmas tree brush and brush it all out and then vacuum. But then I get my hand in there with the burner pulled with a little screwdriver, and I just drill little holes, like, a dozen little holes in the ceramic. And that's completely solves the problem. Like, you just won't have the issue anymore. Because now the holes are big enough that the vent will just come through and flash off, and anyhow, it just keeps the combustion air open so the flame can burn. But of course, that's what it was. So I drove, wasted a whole Saturday. Didn't get home till like 8 o'clock that night. 3 hour drive up, 3 hour drive back, and I went ahead and spent, probably an extra 45 minutes there just going through the system also to make sure everything else was good with it, because I didn't want to have to go back again. But that was a long free service call. Actually, I did charge her something, but I know I didn't charge her enough because that was when my rates were just too low. But that's the furthest I've ever had to drive, and we've kind of got limits on how far we go, just for that reason. It just becomes like you just can't make your money back if you have to go back for anything, And there's always that chance that it could be a bogus call like that one.
Yeah, I mean, we try to stay like right around an hour travel time, but I mean, then again, we're trying to make money. So I mean, we will, the owner will look over if it's something that we can be profitable on, then we'll do it. But normally, if it's an hour, a little more than an hour, we're probably gonna back off from it, especially if it's not like a customer that we know. Like, we had a guy that really liked us, and he had over here separating like Maine, Maryland, and then what they consider the Eastern Shore is what's called the Bay Bridge. And once you get over the Bay Bridge, you're probably, you're going past like the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, and anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And this guy was like a little bit over there, and he's like, man, I really, really want you guys to look at this. And we turned it down only because it wasn't going to be profit. I mean, yeah, this guy would have been happy, but we'd had a guy waste it for fucking, 3 hours going over there. And even if it was like a $400 or $500 ticket, I mean, it's 2 hours travel. I mean, so It just wasn't worth it for us. You know, and not for like if he'd have said, hey, I want to replace the system, I want you guys to do it. Yeah, maybe we'd have done that. We'd have driven an hour and a half over or 2 hours over, done the system. I mean, obviously we'd have had to charge accordingly, but not to go. He wanted like a one-time PM or something. We're like, yeah, nah, that's not gonna
work. Just not worth it. You got to drive along somewhere.
Yeah, definitely not doing that. So that's probably like my my furthest. Shit, I was trying to think of and this is my fault, man, and you live and you learn. So I'll be honest and admit I had I'm gonna call this, I guess, the scariest, the most dangerous call that I've been in that was actually like my fault. I won't tell the one because I've already told it on here. Pretty much most of you guys who listen to this podcast have heard me tell the story about when I found a crack heat exchanger in Baltimore City and condemned it. The guy turned it back on. His 12-year-old son died, and that like fucking crushed me. So I'm not going to tell that story, but this is one that was actually my fault. I mean, I left my dad and I had been in the field maybe a year, not even a year. And let's just say that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I shouldn't have been on my own. I was checking gas pressure on something and check the gas pressure, whatever. Everything's fine. The furnace is running. I leave. Okay. I go to another call. That customer calls into the office and says, hey, something's going on. The furnace is, it's really, really hot and it keeps going off. I'm like, all right, it was just fine. I was just there. I'm like, okay, when I get done this call, I'll go back over there. I go back over there. I hit the rollout button. I turn it back off. I didn't put the fucking port back into the gas valve, dude. This thing fired up and I about shit my fucking pants. Flames just came shooting, and thank God, to be honest, when I look back at it now, I don't even know how, because the flame was like underneath of the rollout. It set the rollout off enough for me to get over and shut the gas off, but that scared the fuck out of me. And to be honest, it's funny, but it's not funny. Actually, there's really nothing funny about it. I take that back. Somebody could have really, really gotten hurt, and that was a fuck up on my part. And to be honest, that's why a couple years after that, when you hear people, when I always tell my story about my, me in this trade and how I've gotten to where I am now, it's, I got sick of not knowing stuff and, shit like that. I didn't want to fucking be that guy. And that's when I started wanting to be better, learning, watching videos, reading books and stuff like that. Because guys who do stuff like I did back then, that's how you fucking burn a house down. It's how you kill yourself, how you kill somebody. That was no bueno. And that scared the living daylights out of me, man. So hopefully nobody else ever has that.
I'm sure somebody's had that. One of the first gas valves I ever changed, I was right there, and I had one on my truck, and I was like, okay, well, it should just be a simple gas valve swap out. So I changed it, and as soon as it kicked on, like the flames just rolled straight up, and it was like scary, it practically caught the wires on fire and everything. But I was able to shut it down quick enough that not really any damage was done. But that was the lesson for me. Like I don't ever mess around with gas valves. I know we're out of season talking about gas valves here, but that's something I don't mess around with. Like I make sure that it is a replacement gas valve for that. It doesn't have to be OEM, but the difference in the gas valves that I've had, it was, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was like the one that was there that I was replacing was like slow opening or something like that, or two-step or slow opening. Well, my replacement one was just the opposite. It was like, full wave gas valve. So when it kicked on, and like the unit, the way it was designed, was not able to, allow that to pour that flame into the heat exchanger. So, and it was an old wooden burner, not the in-shot burners, not first draft, just natural draft. But yeah, that's something I don't mess around with, man.
Yeah,
but just leaving off the cap, I mean, shit happens.
Yeah,
it can happen. So that's why we got to be so diligent and thorough.
Yeah, guys, you got to be careful out there, man. Well, have you ever had where you've accidentally put like an LP, a propane gas valve, in a natural gas thing, in a natural gas application?
No, I have went to do the change, convert it to LP, and somehow, even though I set it all out in a row, I somehow forgot to swap one of the orifices, and it was a 90% furnace, and sure enough, it clogged up the secondary heat exchanger. Not horribly, because it was just one orifice, it wasn't so bad, so I was able to clear it out the best I could to where it would run again. But that was a nightmare.
And it's funny, man. And when you do, we had the same issue, man. You do that, it'll clog up that secondary quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah.
Just because there's going to be so much moisture in that LP. I'm pretty sure there's more moisture.
Yeah, sure, there has to be.
Yeah, in propane than there is natural gas. But when I used to do refrigeration and kitchen equipment, and I think I've told this story before as well. We did all of the pizza ovens for Domino's, the conveyor belts, and there was a store that moved, and they took one oven and wanted to ship it to a new store, and the guy who was putting it in never. I mean, I guess I get his point of mind. We're just hooking the equipment up. They're the one bringing it here. They should know whether it's gas or propane. But as the technician, you should still check it. Well, anyway, it's he put. I'm trying to remember. It was a natural gas furnace, and he put it in a propane application, and he started that thing up. And I was going there to help him finish the job, and he fired that thing up, and boom! Blew the fucking doors off the oven. You saw the plexiglass windows flex. That was another one that'll fucking make your butthole pucker, dude. It was pretty rough. But shit, man. Before we get too far into this, man, we've took longer than I thought. We're going to get ready to close this out with Kelly, but I want to say this, man. If you guys like this every once in a while, this BS, this storytelling and stuff like that, guys, we would love to know some of your stories, man. Whatever story you want to tell. You can email us, or I'm going to put something in the Facebook group. I know that we haven't been on YouTube a lot lately. We do have some things coming up. There's a few videos in the queue that I got to get out. But I would like to just have maybe a YouTube live thing. I'm going to start one and get all the HVAC Uncensored management guys, all the guys who helped me and Kelly run the group, Brian Lee, the other admin of the Facebook group, and just sit there and just, BS, tell stories, talk to you guys. Maybe some of you guys can come on and we can listen to your stories, just to interact with you guys, man. It's actually fun for us to be able to meet you guys and just, get to know you and stuff like that. So just, you can message us however you want to do it. Just let us know if that's something you guys would be interested in doing. Other than that, man, let's start closing this out there, Cal.
As we get into the segment, I just want to say real quick that, guys, now's the time to make the money. So just be careful with your calls. Make sure that you maximize every call still. Because that's the money that's going to get you through the summer or a recession. Sooner or later we are going into a recession. It is bound to happen. Period. It's coming. We don't know exactly when or when it's going to happen, but it could be next year. It could be before the end of the year. We don't know. All I know is that the economy is, if you look back in history, it's been on an upswing for a good amount of years now. I think we're going on a little over, since 2008, basically. It's just been a pretty thriving economy. I mean, it took a couple of years to get back on track after 2008, but something's gonna change. There'll be a market adjustment or something before long. So just make sure that you crush it this summer, so you can survive next winter. And also, I just want to say something that I learned last November when I went to this coaching event. I just learned that, I can't remember the question that they asked me, but I'll look that up and I'll do a video on it. But, something clicked in me that allowed me to realize that that you don't have to do it all. Stop it. Sorry. You don't have to do it all, Every time I think about adding stuff to my business or what it's going to take, or, we need to do this, we need to do that, I automatically think, like, how hard this is going to be for me. Like, I naturally take on everything that I can drum up and think of that I want to implement in the company, and that's just not true. It doesn't have to be me. So you just got to learn to delegate and hire people if you haven't hired people yet. So, but guys, hope you like this podcast. Definitely out of the norm. We will have some great guests coming up in the future. Appreciate all the love and support. And please tell your stories. Share your stories in the Facebook group so everybody so we can read them and get a kick out of them. So, guys, love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the downloads. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends, your coworkers, your family about this podcast. Without you guys, it wouldn't be worth doing, honestly. There's not enough money in it for us to put the effort into showing up every week. So it's about you guys. We like to see the support. It helps us know that we're doing something that means something to somebody. So, even if it's just some entertainment for an hour once a week. So please subscribe, show us some love, and go make money.
Yeah. I'm coming out the aisle, just bouncing back and forth. I'm walking down to the ring, motherfuckers, ready to close this thing out. No, I'm sorry, just kidding. Guys, yeah, man, we thank you guys, man. We appreciate all of you for all your support, man. We really, we can't stress that enough. You guys have been awesome. I keep saying this every week. We want your input. If you guys have an idea for an episode, or if you think you can legitimately come on to give something to the podcast, we're interested in hearing from you. Just so you know, just because you say, hey, I want to be on the podcast, not that you have to be some expert, but me or Kelly, we're going to talk to you on the phone just to get to feel you out. Normally it starts with emails and then we talk to you on the phone, just to kind of talk about some things, just to see if it kind of clicks and we think that we can fit an hour-long show that guys are going to want to listen to. Yes, we want people to be able to come on and meet different people, but then again, we can't have somebody come on and just speak nonsense for an hour because guys aren't going to listen to it. So just know that. We want you guys to at least let us know topics. If you want to hear something, like we always say, we'll try to, if we can find a guest. If we don't know enough in that topic, then we'll try to find someone else. Between the different friends we have in the podcasting fields, YouTubers, guys outside of the whole game, we could find somebody to talk about any given topic, I'm pretty sure. So with that being said, this was a good show. If you guys like this whole storytelling thing, this was last minute. We really thought we were going to have a guest tonight. But the guest had an issue that I get it. And especially he's on the West Coast, we're on the East Coast, so time and stuff like that. Well, I'm on the East Coast. But yeah, that's about it, man. We love you guys. Appreciate you. Facebook group, keep growing. Thank you guys. We are going to do a drastic cleanup in there. So I'm going to say that here, and I'll also post a video in the group. Guys, I don't care what the name is. I've said this before. I feel redundant. I'm not going to keep fucking saying it. If you're in there just to be an asshole and you're not in there to actually contribute in any way, you're not going to be in there long. Your first warning, the moderators that we've already had a group meeting with the moderators where you're going to be suspended for 30 days. After that, if something happens again, you're going to be removed. I like the numbers, but we collectively as a group don't want the group to be that way. I want guys to be able to ask questions. Yes, we want guys to be able to joke around, but there's some guys that their only purpose in being in there is to talk shit and stuff like that. So we're going to eliminate that, and we're going to start getting down to nitty gritty. So we'll see what happens. But all right, guys, remember what I say every week, man. Guys, always be safe. Always make it home the same way you left. Guys, always do the little things, man. Set yourself apart from the next guy. All right? Summertime's coming, like Kelly just said. Now it's the time to put up or fucking shut up. It's a time to make money. Get out there and start putting that shit in the bank. Like we always say, we want you guys to be the best versions of you. That's why we do this. All right. Me and Kelly are always trying to better ourselves. We're taking things that we've done over the years to try to help ourselves. We're still both growing, trying to get better. Nobody's ever reached the pinnacle. And we're trying to give you that information to help you guys. All right. All right, guys. So until next week, man, we love you guys, and we will talk with you motherfuckers later. Peace.
Peace. Peace. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
Oi, 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 oi.
Hehehehe